Interview with Christopher Collins, running for Lawrence County Commissioner. What's made you want to run this time?
Well, Anita, when we look around, not just our county, but the nation, and see the struggle that folks are faced with, on the national level, I think we have a $20 trillion deficit, which is becoming ever more seemingly insurmountable. And on down to the state level, I think things here in Ohio are headed back in the right direction. When we look at things locally, having that perspective of working, in state government, I think, having the perspective of working from the state level with numerous local and county governments from the state level, and seeing how they've evolved and changed and innovated. I think those are some changes. Having that perspective, I think those are changes that we could use here in Lawrence County to make our government more efficient and more effective.
What in your background or your education or any particular characteristic makes you qualified?
Well, as I was alluding to, having the very blessed and unique perspective of working in state government and being enlightened to the opportunities to help people and the inner workings of government on the state level, in terms of working closely with the budget process, in terms of how things are appropriated, and just a broad range of issues. I think by necessity, giving all the duties and responsibilities that a county commissioner has, I think it's very important for them to have broad vision and a broad perspective on numerous different issues, and working, for several of the Senate's key top leaders on, like I said, a wide range of different issues, ranging from Senator Patton, who was the Highways and Transportation Chairman, working as the clerk of the Senate Agricultural Committee, Ohio's #1 industry, having a solid education through the business school at Ohio State, and working for, as I said, several of Ohio's key top public servants who truly put the interest of those whom they serve above their own personal interest. And I think that's something that we could channel and use here in Lawrence County to ultimately strive to make it a better place to live and work. And having a business degree, I think it's very important for a county commissioner to have good business acumen in terms of recruiting jobs, promoting public and private partnerships, having good relationships with the Health and Human Services Agency, and also serving as assistant director at the Lawrence County Department of Job and Family Services. It has really allowed me to witness firsthand the struggle that folks in our community are going through, and really the need for better jobs and specialized treatment facility centers, and again, working closely on the state budgets. I've had those relationships, which I think are definitely key. And for example, working with the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Human Services, and seeing how capital appropriations are made to local governments to transform existing infrastructure into specialized treatment rehab centers, to truly get those that are struggling with drug addictions the help that they need, and ultimately on their path to being better citizens, and ultimately in hopes to give them hope of a new future, as well as being positive contributing members of society, as opposed to going away and being locked away long term at a drain to a burden to the taxpayers.
If elected, what are the top 2 or 3 things you would want to accomplish?
Well, again, the drug epidemic, just as I was alluding to, I think it's a multi-pronged approach, and the top, I've got a list of things I'd like to accomplish, but I think the top 3 things, if you will, all kind of intertwine, and that's fighting the drug epidemic, jobs. As I was saying, I've seen firsthand the need for jobs. I've witnessed how it's easy for folks, even with a good education, respectable degrees, to become discouraged. Folks that would never dream that they would find themselves in the challenging positions that they are, but as time goes on, they can't find a job, and I oftentimes say that at times it seems as though there is a lack of incentive through lack of opportunity. That's why I think one of the biggest solution to the drug epidemic is perhaps to bring more jobs to Lawrence County, but not just any jobs where folks truly have an opportunity to prosper. And if there's jobs, and if we get the specialized treatment facility, then folks that are rehab, if they can throw themselves and exert themselves into a good opportunity, I think we'll see change there. And then of course there's the dreaded jail issue, if you will. We have to make sure that we have the funding that we need for our law enforcement, and if we bring jobs here, then there's more sales or tax revenue, if you will, to invest back in our infrastructures. And the situation with the jail, that I'm not sure if a lot of people realize, the United States has the world's largest incarcerated population, and 50% of that entire population, if you will. And as 2012, I know Ohio is in the top 10 in terms of prison population. So there were changes made at the state level in effort to reduce the prison population. And in a sense, what they did is felony 4 and 5 convictors they're no longer held in state prisons. They're held here locally. So since it's been an unfunded mandate, and here locally, I know they're letting them out the back to let them in the front. But I think one avenue to pursue is possible legislation from the state, and especially for counties like Lawrence County, that it's these policy changes have really presented a great hardship on. But we have to make sure that we have adequate and stable funding for our most fundamental services, such as law enforcement.
Okay. Do you think you can work with your fellow commissioners?
Absolutely. I pride myself on being a team player. I like to live by the old adage, team together, everybody accomplishes more. So not only do I think I work well with my fellow commissioners, I would strive to work well with all local officials and business leaders and stakeholders and citizens, and to strive to end some of the divisiveness that's seemingly going on in the personal vendettas and grudges. I think there's times that we have to put aside our personal differences and come together for the greater good and make the decisions that are truly in the best interest of the people. And we have to have a degree of civility to where we can be able to agree to disagree.
Why should I vote for you?
Well, Benita, I know you're, I'm not sure if you're a Lawrence County voter or not, but if you were, I would say not only that you should vote for me, but hopefully the majority folks here in Lawrence County should vote for me, because I'm somebody, as I was saying, I'm a team player. I truly believe in doing what's right. I have the courage, to make the decisions that I truly believe are in the best interest of the stakeholders, in this instance, the taxpayers, of Lawrence County. And, I will work with absolutely anybody, regardless of their party affiliation, regardless of their socioeconomic status regardless of the pigmentation of their skin. And I think what we need in Lawrence County is a more proactive approach, not reactive, in terms of taking initiative and fighting for what the county needs. We have a lot of promise here in Lawrence County, but I think if folks vote for me, I assure them that I'll fight and do everything within my power to make Lawrence County a better place to live, work, and raise a family.
All right. Thank you very much.